Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to episode 60 of AI GTM Talks. My name is Iyer, and for those who are back for another episode, we've been doing the series of talks. It's been well over a year. We bring on either AI GTM tech CEOs who are going deep in different areas within go to market. We bring on revenue leaders who are transforming their organizations using AI and transforming different parts of their GTM process, function, areas of responsibility. We also bring on, experts, subject matter experts in different areas. Today, very delighted to invite who's the CMO at NOps, head of marketing, CMO. Chintu Parikh is here. Chintu, how are you?
I'm fine, man. It's Money. It's always a pleasure. I mean, we talk often, and you are always on the know-how and what's happening in the valley, right? So it's always a pleasure to exchange out the insights, what's happening in marketing, and your Kavanzu is like a leader in signal-based marketing, right? Which I think a lot of companies would benefit. The whole GTM has changed now, right? What used to
Sure.
be, especially in the
Yeah.
ABM space, I think is more signals than just coming up with a static set of accounts
Yeah.
to target, right? That's old school. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So again, I know Chintu, we have a pretty exciting agenda for today. So,
Yeah.
folks, we're going to be covering AI agents for marketing. It's show and tell, a lot of deep dive. It's never boring with Chintu. He gets deep under the covers, which is what you're going to find. And I know Chintu, you've got some material prepared, some slides. You're going to show a bunch of agents you all have been building. Let's get into it. I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's start the conversation
Let's
and
do
share.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna share my window here, and it's gonna go back and forth between slides
yeah,
and actual demo, right? So
hmm
what I thought, like we in marketing space, especially in the Valley, prompt engineering, and then every discipline and a company, prompt engineering has been now heavily used, right?
yeah,
Since ChatGPT made a big splash. But if you kind of go back, we had this session before, it was more around islands of automation using prompting. And it goes
right,
to a level where you can prompt so much during the day, right? And you don't want to
yeah,
keep repeating the same task over and over again. While
yeah,
there's some automation you can do within the LLM models, but I think as a marketing, there's a lot more opportunity to automate, but not just automate, right? We are looking for is how do we drive better content while using less resources? How do we drive
yeah.
more value from what we have? So that's the topic today. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know you have three different things you're going to cover, right? So one is you built a pretty comprehensive agent called Gen. So we're going to get into
Yeah.
all about Gen. And the other thing was you've done some interesting things with uh, the way you manage your WordPress content,
Yeah.
pages, and so forth on your website. And then there's a whole discussion you and I have kind of mapped out around many CMOs and marketers are trying to figure out, should I build all this agent stuff? Should I buy from somebody? Should I partner with like an outsourced firm? Right? There's a whole dilemma, or call it decision framework, that people are
Yep.
have in their heads. So I think we need to have a discussion around that because I know it's a big topic for many people watching. But yeah,
No, totally. I think end of the day, everybody wants to what are the takeaways for me, my organization, based on my strengths and my capability and what I want to do, achieve, right? The
yeah.
timeline is also important. You can build stuff if you have three years to build it. Yeah, so we'll get into that. Thank you.
Let's get going. So let's kick it off with, maybe you can tell people NOps. What do you all do? That could set some context here.
Yes, so at Enops, we are all about automated cloud cost optimization, right? So we have a
Yeah,
AI driven solution that looks at your cloud cost on AWS, Google
Mhm.
Cloud, and Azure. And we deliver cloud savings without adding any operational overhead and let alone the resources, right? Even the engineers don't have
yeah,
to do additional work. And then when you spend a lot of money on cloud, like typically the companies who work with us, they spend anywhere from a few $1 million a year to $200 million a year on the cloud, right?
Got
So
it. Got it.
for them, every penny saved is a lot, right? Even a 1 percentage point. So we enable that for them, and we start by offering them a free savings analysis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And our goal is to kind of deliver this without like frictionless
Yeah.
savings. And we
Got it.
work on a business model that is based on share of savings. So if we don't save you any money, we don't charge you money. So it's
Got it.
based on
What is your
percentage saving.
what does your ICP, sorry, ICP look like? Are you saying to mid-market, large enterprise, revenue
Yeah.
range, industry size? Yeah.
They're typically mid-market to enterprises, right? Like
Yeah.
companies that there are mainly like cloud native software companies, tech companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even a lot of consumer companies are now have mobile apps or have a SaaS application, right? So those are our
Yeah.
typical companies, and with some substantial savings, cloud spend. And which
Got
is
it.
growing, as
And
Amazon alone is like $150 billion in cloud spend. Yeah.
oh yeah. And yeah, so can you give us a sense of some of the customers you're working
Yeah.
with? Oh, wow, you got Roku and some other big ones here. Okay.
Sonos, yeah, we have a lot of other ones that we cannot publicly disclose, but we typically save them all the way up to 55% on cloud versus if you just
Yeah.
spin up a resource EC2 instance on
Mm.
AWS, which would cost, let's say it would cost you $1 an hour, we would bring that down to 45 cents an hour, right?
Oh wow.
And
Okay, that's
so
a lot.
that 55-cent savings, we take a small percentage of that as our fee.
Okay.
And also, we do this without you making long commitments, right? So typically,
Mm.
AWS would give a discount to you if you want to commit to spending X dollars for 3 years, which is
Mhm.
also very risky. Regardless of whether you use those resources or not, you have to pay
Yeah.
AWS
Mhm.
that money. So we maximize the savings by minimize the commitment. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Got it. Makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about what you're doing around marketing. I mean, you have an amazing solution. You've got some 500 plus customers. You're trying to grow faster, like everybody else. So yeah.
Yes, so we are still a very small marketing team, right? And to kind of, we started, I think phase one was really about prompt engineering, right? So this
Got it.
today's talk would be,
Chintu, sorry, do you mind just putting on slideshow mode? Maybe people will find the screen is easier to
yeah.
see the whole screen. Yeah, let's
So
go.
yes, so we kind of started with a lot of companies do last year or even before that, right? Using primarily Chat GPT
Yeah.
via prompt engineering, right? So, like,
Mhm.
here are some of the examples, right? We belong to this foundation called FinOps Foundation, which is a community of engineers, DevOps engineers, and engineering leaders, and FinOps professionals who are looking to understand their cloud costs and optimize them, right? So they do a annual survey, which is like a very popular survey, and everybody. So here's the first example. I would ask ChatGPT, write me an engaging blog post summarizing the state of FinOps report, right? And
Mhm.
it would do this for me, right? But I have to sit down and prompt, and I make sure
Mm.
I write the right prompt. The second one is, okay, now I have the blog post, write me a LinkedIn post with a viral hook based on this, right? So it will write me a LinkedIn post. All of this we have to copy and paste and publish on a blog or put it on LinkedIn, right?
Mhm.
So, and then you have like we kind of from there we graduated into like, oh, I want to just monitor as marketing. We should monitor what's happening in the industry. What are my
Mm.
competitors doing, right? So there's a
Yeah.
third one is a prompt for that, right? Like summarize um, what are the key takeaways from last week's news and social media posts, and I give them URLs of all the relevant URLs, right? AWS URLs, the last week in AWS URL, Twitter handles, and it gives me a summary of what is happening. So you can see we used to do like, I don't know, hundreds of prompt every week, right? It just gets overwhelming, and it's tedious, right? So we realized that, and because of that, we kind of came up with this build this agent. I'll give you a quick demo so people can look at this real quick. I have to get out of the slideshow mode.
Yeah.
Yes, so let me just do this here. And I have to share it. What I'm going to do is share my...
Yeah, I think you may need to stop sharing and share the other screen if it's in a different
so I'm
browser.
going to share our Slack, right? So
okay.
Here you can see this is we started with just one Slack channel where Jen every day did a briefing for us, right? So every day it comes out and does all this, monitors the key web URLs, LinkedIn, Twitter handle, and it gives me a daily digest.
Okay.
Right. So it's just set up to do this as a cron job. Now, once I review this, we can ask to build a blog and things like that, right? So this is kind of where we started, and then we have we expanded this into Gen blog. So now we have a specific channel that writes me a blog based on. We have given detail. We have built this Gen, given instructions, and now I'll review how it all works to give me blog articles based on multiple criteria, right? And then the third part of agent is the LinkedIn post. It creates a LinkedIn post based on what's trending, what's working in LinkedIn, and based on our requirements. Okay. So this is automated. I'm not doing any prompting. Every day I come and look, our team looks at this and then decides what to do, right? So so now let's kind of look into how this all works. Makes sense?
Yeah. And I think you showed me an overall architecture, which was pretty impressive. It connects to a lot of different. There you go.
Yes, so this is like the overall architecture. Gen is the core. Gen is hosted. The code is hosted on AWS EC2, which is like a server, and it uses OpenClaw. If you remember, OpenClaw became very, very popular. So it uses the OpenClaw, and I'll explain, but it monitors all the signals. There are inputs and there are outputs, and there are specific mini programs. So the skills, the 16 skills you see, you can see them as 16 more people on your marketing team.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There's somebody who does SEO, somebody who monitors news, right? Somebody who does product marketing, listening to customer calls and whatnot. And then on the output side, it outputs things to Slack that you saw. What you didn't see was it also output blogs to our Google Docs. It also produces briefing for our CEO, builds a deck for us, right? A lot of different things. So let's get into a little more detail on how all this works, right?
So sorry, Chintu. Just if we can go to the previous slide, I think let's summarize real quick. So the kinds of third-party or other tech and tools you're pulling from, you've got Gong as a source for all your sales call transcripts. HubSpot, you're pulling some CRM data, CRM insights. SEMrush, you're getting some SEO information. And Brave is what? Is that like a news source or?
It's a web browser where we get all the news.
Got it. And then you've got Reddit.
Open source browser,
It's an open source browser. And then you've got Reddit and X for all the social signals. And then you've got all your different.
And then it also looks at our internal Slack.
Got it. Okay. Those are all your inputs. And then, you've got your cron jobs that are running, all the different.
So I'll explain in the next slide. I think easier for people to
let's do it.
walk this. Okay. Yeah. because it's a very
Okay.
busy slide. So like I said,
Yeah.
we have all the sources that we connect to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gong is where we have, tens of calls, if not more, every
Yeah.
week. Sales, customer
Okay.
success calls, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it picks up the pulse from the customer, right? The first-hand source of information.
Yep.
HubSpot is where we capture not only all the emails and outbound and sales emails, marketing emails. We have
Mm-hmm.
HubSpot integrated with our platform, so a lot of
Mm-hmm.
platform data comes into HubSpot, so it has
Yeah.
access to that. Brave is a very popular open source browser, so that
Okay.
allows us to go surf all this relevant. We provide a list of website by skill or by the task. Like if I'm doing competitor monitoring, we have list of websites for the competitor, list of their social handles, Twitter, LinkedIn, right? Um, so then we also monitor the community. There are communities on Reddit, the communities on X about cloud cost optimization, cloud cost management, FinOps, right? And then our internal Slack channel. So idea is we like if I have to just think about a even one human has to do all this monitoring daily, that's a lot,
Yep.
right? So you would probably need like two people just to divide up and kind of, and then you have to write like, oh, what did I find? What are the key insights? Collate information across all the sources.
Mm.
So that's enabled by those input signals, right? Then the OpenClaw, which is a open source that became very popular, and the founder got acquired by Chat OpenAI, but
Yeah.
it's got the orchestration. It brings all of these things together, and we'll describe what it does, right? So it decides um, what inputs to select, what to do next.
Mm.
Um, then we have set of skills, what skills to use, right? Um, and and also does the integration with all these different tools, whether it's an MCP server, like HubSpot provides an MCP server, SEO provides
Mm.
an API, right?
Yeah.
Brave is an API. So depending upon how you're connecting, OpenClaw has that built-in things where you can connect to different systems, and then
Yeah.
it does the orchestration, what workflow to follow, and all of that, right? So it's workflow plus plus, and then it has
Okay.
this capability to schedule tasks. Like you
Okay.
saw in my Slack, every morning, Jen is giving me a news briefing. So
Right.
whatever at 9 a.m. is going to give me the daily news,
Mm-hmm.
right? 9
Yeah.
9:15, it's going to give me LinkedIn post. All of this, we have scheduled tasks for that.
Got it. So, quick,
The
couple of
third,
quick questions,
yeah, yeah.
Chintu, before you go forward. Um, are there any? I know OpenClaw became popular for these kinds of things that need to be done,
Yeah.
right? Like orchestration with task management and bringing in data, making do some decisioning. Are there any alternatives to OpenClaw people are starting to build around? Is there a way to
Yeah,
do it
so
with
there are
Claude
there
and
are
Claude CLI?
yeah, I think AirOps has it, N has it, right? They're all paid
Okay,
solutions.
got it.
N is more engineering. You still need some technical skills. AirOps is more easier for marketing people to use, but they're all paid,
Okay,
right? OpenClaw is an open source, free.
and
But
and
yeah,
there's
so
but
it's
people
not easy to work with. So OpenClaw is not something that you can just from
no, no,
take it
but
out of the box and start working with it. Yeah.
got it. And the follow-up question was, there's chatter out there about concerns around security with OpenClaw.
Oh yes,
Obviously,
yes.
yeah. How did you guys kind of overcome that and get comfortable that you
Yeah,
can
so
put
this is
OpenClaw?
all hosted within our secure AWS account. So this is not
Okay,
on somebody's desktop or a server in their home or in a closet,
okay,
right?
got
So
it.
so all of this is hosted in Amazon AWS, just like we
Yeah,
host our platform in AWS. So again,
yeah,
all of those things are very important, right?
yeah,
So you need, because we are an infrastructure company, it's a lot
yeah.
easier for us to do all of this.
And I'm just confirming. I'm sure you've done this, which is you got to have a separate, isolated, secure VPS for OpenClaw, away from even your own
Yep.
platform, right? So they're all
Yep.
separated.
Separate, yeah,
Okay, fair
separate
enough.
space. So,
Okay.
and then we go into like the core, the skills, right? So skills
Mm-hmm.
is the task. You want to divide all this thing into different tasks, right? So you want to do comparative monitoring, a
Yeah.
key product marketing task, right? So we have a skill for that. There's
Yeah.
a writer, which is instructed to write in a certain fashion. For the
Yeah.
personas, we have 3 different personas we created for. So it's that SEO is, we have keywords that are important to us. So we good amount of our inbound comes from SEO even to today, right?
Got it.
While a lot of people are complaining about SEO traffic, our bottom of the funnel is still very strong. I'm crossing my fingers, right? But so we
Okay.
leverage SEMrush. We have a SEMrush setup, so it gives us, keyword volumes. What are the low-hanging fruit, like less competitive keywords to go after? So it
Yeah.
uses that in writing as well as giving you the tags for SEO
Mm.
purposes, right? Then there's a briefing engine which does the daily briefing. There's an engine that
Mm.
writes the LinkedIn post. There's an engine
Mm.
that does some validation and verification, engine that updates the Google deck.
Mm.
All right. So these are the core things that you written in Python,
Yeah.
and they're part of OpenClaw. OpenClaw decides which one to pull from, in what
Okay.
order they need to be pulled from.
Okay. Understood.
So then the core of the brain comes in, right? So brain is your LLM models.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, we use, because we are in the cloud, we use a service provided by Amazon called Bedrock. And
Okay.
Bedrock has a lot of different LLM models available. Here we are using Anthropic, and 2 models from Anthropic, Sonnet 4.5 and Opus 4.6,
Okay.
right? And then there's obviously, we as we started working with this, we want to make sure is doing the fact checking, is verifying things, data. So Jen has that built into the accuracy, and it would cite the resources where it's pulling the information from. And then
Right.
finally, all this is done, it does the outputs. We have various destinations, mainly within Slack, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All the Slack channel it writes to. And then what you don't see at the bottom is it also writes to Google Docs and Google um, Slides and Google Docs. And it can also write to the spreadsheet if you need to.
Okay. Okay.
So that's how this whole thing works, right? So you have a GTM engineer who has built this, right?
What, without getting to the details, what is your take on? I know GTM engineering suddenly become this new discipline. You got to bring people in to do that job. What have you seen are the skills needed for a good GTM engineer?
So let me take that back. It's an engineer, not GTM engineer. So if you want to be a GTM
Okay.
engineer,
Yeah.
you need the domain knowledge and engineering knowledge.
Got it.
So a
Got it.
lot of the domain knowledge is our team provides that. Our CEO is deeply involved, right? So
Okay.
the engineer, based on our input, and some of the input goes directly to Jen via prompt.
Okay.
Jen, do this, and it remembers. Remember this in your memory. Prioritize this products, prioritize this topics over this, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's also, we are training Jen as a business domain expert. The engineer has
Okay.
put this system and maintains it, yeah, in the cloud.
Okay. Understood. No, that's good
So
to
it's
know.
not your typical, I think GTM engineers, everybody, this, it's a evolving definition, money. So you can, yeah, so some people do everything, some just do
Yeah.
only the engineering part of it, yeah.
Got it. Right. So now we've seen the Gen art, how Gen actually works. What's next?
So let's kind of go back. This is a little bit from the last time, right? So where we started this was, we used to do, the engineering development or product development has just it's so much faster now, 4x, 5x, whatever, right? So we were building a lot of new features, and this is where
Yeah.
we saw the need for using LLMs to help us. So we used to do like the process we had for releasing the new feature announcement. We would set up a meeting with the engineer, meet with the
Yeah.
engineer, right? So
Mm.
between those two, you are probably 2 or 3 days before you actually meet. Then after the
Yes.
meeting, you will be writing a draft, right?
Mm.
Get a screenshot of the feature, create a feature image, then give it back to engineer for review, validation, whatnot, accuracy, and then
Yeah.
it's ready for publication in Google Docs, right? And then you copy
Uh-huh.
and paste from Google Docs to WordPress. Then you
Yeah.
do, right? So all of this was very manual, right? So we did islands of automation. So instead of
Yeah.
setting up a meeting with engineer, we just gave engineer the prompt. We started by prompting from the insights that we had covered, but we just gave the prompts to engineers, and marketing is responsible for maintaining those prompts. So instead
Okay.
of the first two steps, we just went through the third step. The draft would come out from the engineers into
Got
Google
it.
Docs, right?
Okay.
So big savings there. And then we did islands of automation, doing a LinkedIn post, writing and all of that,
Yeah.
LinkedIn post exports. But some of the big bottlenecks were publishing to WordPress, because, and I'll show you what it means. Because we have a WordPress that is, and most companies do, is highly formatted with CSS and how it should look, optimized for SEO and all of that. So you cannot
Yeah.
just copy and paste the entire Google Doc into WordPress. It would look bad, right? So that was
Yeah.
like, if you look at the bottom graph, we saved a lot of time, like 56% of time, while doing the islands of automation with Chat GPT, but publishing to WordPress was still a painful thing, right?
Okay.
So the next thing we have here is what we have done is, so before we go there, let me just see how this, here's an example. So
Okay.
here's the final draft ready to be pushed into WordPress. And this is in Google
Yep.
Docs, right?
Right.
So now if you go to the WordPress actual article, see it's how it's all H1, H2s, then there's a table of content, it has links.
Yeah.
All of this, if I go into WordPress, each of my subtitle, I need to copy and paste from WordPress, this one, right? Then I copy and paste
Right.
the next section, then the next header.
Yeah.
It takes time. It's just a manual
Yep.
copy and paste, which is so. But you won't believe the WordPress and things, they haven't enabled something simple as this, right? So what we used to do
Yeah.
was we used to create this Google Doc, and then we have a design agency, put a ticket and click up. Oh, this is ready. Can you push it to WordPress? And then they would have some people doing this, and they would be like, oh, why don't you preview it and then approve and push it, right? And there's a SEO part of this too. So
Okay.
what we did instead was, let's see if I go back. Yes, so our design agency came up with a ClickUp integration, and I'll show it to you, and then a
Okay.
plugin for WordPress, right? So
Mm.
the plugin for WordPress would take the Google Doc as an input and publish
Yeah.
it. It listens to any new ticket in ClickUp, and then
Okay.
it pushes to WordPress every 5 minutes. Another
Oh,
cron
wow.
job, right?
Mm.
And all of this is via ClickUp, so we didn't change the interface in ClickUp, right? So let's go to ClickUp. This is one of the same article, right?
Yeah.
So all we got to do is, here is the document URL, the Google Doc URL.
Right.
Here's the title.
Uh-huh.
This is the final URL. Here's some of the
Okay.
keywords we want to use, category, tags, meta description, and the featured image. And once you
Okay.
move it from open to publish, right? Every 5 minutes is listening to any new task and it pushes it and publishes to WordPress, right?
Got it. So
So
all the stuff in the ClickUp step was input from by your design agency. They set it all up. Is
no,
it
no,
in
no,
that
no,
ClickUp task?
for our marketing, content marketing person.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it
okay,
does
got it.
like
Your
few
internal
inputs.
marketing person.
Yeah,
Okay.
it just this. The design agency is not even involved now.
Oh, okay, got it, got it. So you took the work back in house. Okay, understood.
It's automated. Only
Mhm.
thing they build this for us. You put in like few fields, and it's
Okay.
boom, it's published. So yes, we've been doing this quite a bit now. So you go to NOps, um, yeah, you can see even the main page. It does all of this automatically, right? So you go into all of this recent articles. This is new, are auto published
Yeah.
from Google Docs to via ClickUp to WordPress, and it's very nicely
So
formatted.
the right, right. So the plugin you said, the Docs plugin, is that something
Yeah,
you guys developed in house or
yeah.
okay?
Sorry, I
Talk
know
about Docs plugin.
we like to build things. Yeah, so that's something we have built in house, right? Uh, yeah,
Okay.
and this is how it kind of works. So there is just like the gen, we have um, a skill to publish, right? There is trigger in terms of the cron job, when to look for it and publish. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but
Okay,
it's like
understood.
you move from open ticket to publish, and it does it.
Got it. It's amazing.
Yes, so that's the kind of the main two things. There is more that obviously we are working on maybe next time. But so I think that you had asked me before, like, this is great, Chintu, but what is recommendation for, like, what are the key takeaways for people with different contexts, right? So we come from a very software engineering infrastructure background, so a lot of these things are easier for us to do. But
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, happy to take any
Yeah, no, I was
questions.
going to put up that slide so we can kind of talk
Yeah,
about that. Yeah, for sure. So let me it just came up, right? So just like I think we saw some really interesting agents, right? AI agents for marketing, variety of marketing use cases. You guys decided to build in house. So this is certainly how we see more and more customers and revenue leaders, marketing leaders that we work with, they're thinking about this, right? Which is, should we build? Should we buy? Should we partner? And then when they do and then the two axes we are seeing is, one is they are trying to assess for themselves, what is the level of AI and GTM fluency within their marketing org, right? So you need AI fluency, you need go-to-market fluency. I mean, go-to-market's a given. You got to have some if you're in a marketing role. But
yeah,
then the other is internal capacity. Do you have the staff time and to dedicate to some of that specific things? And on the y-axis is scaling. So core for scaling, for a fact you got to move fast. And second is competitive differentiation, is go to
yeah,
market itself a differentiation for you relative to your competition. So I think we've seen that being the y-axis in people trying to kind of make their decision. And then so we found that if it's high in one of these dimensions, in one case, if it's high fluency and you have capacity, but um, you don't want to spend the time building, etc., then wherever you can, you kind of uh, plug in off the shelf, right? Tech, signal based tech. In our case, we are doing the signal aggregation. We can bring it in, and then they can build the segments and then do the outbound workflows and so on. The other one is the build. I mean, you guys fit nicely in that build box. You want to scale fast, you have the fluency, and you have the internal capacity. So now
yeah,
you're off building your own. And so, even for the builders, we actually have said you don't need to buy our off the shelf app. You can just access the signals data that we have, a unique, valuable signals data, using APIs and our signal feeds, and using Claude and using CLI. And then the partner part for us is the company says, you know what, I don't want to spend any staff time internally, right, for doing any of this work, but I need to get it done. I know it's going to be a big competitive differentiator. So we are working with some companies specifically in that top, what you see, the top left box, where we bring in that AI GTM, fluency and expertise, and put more of a services capacity, or we are white labeling it, right, to some other agency partner. So it's becoming a build versus buy their tech versus
Yep.
buy, get some services help, or both. But yeah, what are you seeing, Chintu?
No, Mani, this great topic, right? So end of the day, I think as the tech becomes a commodity now, right? Software is
Yeah.
becoming a commodity. The
Mhm.
distribution and GTM are becoming probably the most important thing right now, even though a lot of companies are still getting to that, right?
Yeah.
When you have any junior engineer can build something, or maybe even not an engineer, a product manager by himself can start building software, right? The
Mhm.
core capability your organization needs to have is a strong GTM, right? And underneath all of this, I think that's the driving force we have. We want to be ahead of our competition, right? We want to see our GTM as a differentiator, the speed, the quality of GTM and whatnot, and we rely on uh, inbound and outbound to a large degree for our revenue generation, right?
Yeah.
Content is a key part of that. So, but having said that, you have to look internally, right? So we've been building AI agents for our own product that serves our customers.
Right.
So for us, that was a lot easier to do. Like we had the infrastructure, we know what the bedrock is, what things are available on bedrock, how to do secure enterprise things,
Yeah.
how to do Slack integration was already done, right? The HubSpot to product integration. So a lot of things were already in place. We're not starting
Yep.
from scratch. The skills
Hmm.
were in place, more importantly, the engineering skills. So
Yeah.
so easier for us to build, but within the organization, you have to see whether you want to go hire somebody, and then you got to spend time hiring that, finding that person with the right skill, not readily available skill right now,
Hmm.
right? So then you have to
Hmm.
pay for that person. Then
Yeah.
then you start building it. It takes time, right?
Hmm.
Now compared to so so you need to evaluate what core capabilities you have, what resources you have, um, and then how easy access to this resources you have. You may have the resource, but resource has five other tasks they're doing. Right?
Yeah.
So that's, I think, those thinking need to be there and weighed against if I'm going to do it in house, how long it would take for me to go to market using this thing. Is it going to be
Got
next
it.
year, 2 years, right? So as a
Got it.
CMO or a VP of marketing, I think um, you may not have a job if you keep building this for a year. You got to show
Mm.
the results, right? End of the
Yeah.
day, marketing is not going to get evaluated on how what cool things you have built for the GTM.
Yeah.
Is your revenue or
Yeah.
pipeline?
Yeah. So
Like my
right.
board
Right.
is
So
not
by the way,
evaluating me on like, oh, this is great, Chintu. We'll give you some more money to build more agents.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
it's just
definitely
one
not
slide
happening.
in this whole deck. It's mainly about pipeline generation and revenue generation.
Yeah. No, and by the way, Chintu, I just put up another example of
Yeah,
what's happening these days with with all the new AI tech tools. A lot of people are completely transforming their GTM processes, and so mapping out those processes, we find is becoming more and more critical. And so having literally that GTM architect mindset, at least have somebody. So is this an area? I was just curious, like I you as a CMO, how much of this are you doing at NOps in terms of? I'm sure you have pretty deep understanding, but uh, are you being organized in terms of just documenting their entire workflows and so forth? And what are you seeing? Any best practices you want to? bring up, share with folks?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think, um, look, the signal-based marketing is there since the likes of Six Sense and everybody started doing the ABM, right? But I
Right.
think what has now become has, and some of them, yeah, and even HubSpot has now signals and things like that. So very, very important. We use it in variety of different ways, right? Whether it's a
Mhm.
customer switching jobs in a new role, so that's a signal. Somebody
Right.
monitor, industry blogs or industry LinkedIn posts and a signal if they liked it or not. Events,
Right.
um, all of this. I think you look. I think the CEO of Airbnb said if once a marketing channel starts working, everybody copies it and it's dead in like 18 months, right? That's the challenge
Yeah.
we all have. So my
Yeah.
core message is if you find something, go for it. Don't wait. And
Hmm.
don't wait to build it, right? Try. There are solutions out in the place. Do it. Yep. I think
Yeah.
that's the message I want to go after, right?
Yeah.
So on the digital domain, there's a lot more available, easy, lot easier to. Before you have to sign a $60,000 contract with Six Sense or likes of Six Sense.
Hmm.
Now you can do it with a much lower cost
Yeah. Yeah.
while
Yeah.
having more capabilities, not and capabilities more from a not just list of target accounts and you monitor just those target accounts. You monitor actually intent signals, different types
Hmm.
of intent signals.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, much more
There's
granular,
no
much more
target account
contact
list
level.
shouldn't be a static list. It should be based on intent. That's what we want, right? Like somebody who's in the market but is not
Yeah.
searching for you. How do you get
Mhm.
those other signals? They're hiring
Yeah.
for this person, and that means the
Yeah.
signal.
Yeah. So, Chintu, just as we wrap up for today, because we
Yep.
have a couple more minutes, yeah, what do you see ahead? Say, even at NOps, you've got these agents, you've got Jen, you talked about WordPress publishing. You talked about and I think images and high fidelity images that are now possible with the new AI models. You've been using some of that. Very high, what do you see happening next 6 to 12 months? What are the big areas you want
I
to
think
make headway?
as a high growth business, right, the challenge we have is how do we sustain that high growth,
Okay.
right? So it's you have to take a step back and just look at what are all the maybe do you do a gap analysis. You constantly have to listen to the market. What is working, what is not
Hmm.
working, what is new in the market. And then you look at
Right.
like your own, maybe you do a gap analysis by channel. Where are the
Mm.
gaps? Is this what is market is working in the market? What are my
Mm.
gaps? And address those gaps. And what are my strengths? And double down and you know if your biceps are strong, make them stronger.
Mm.
That's where AI can help. But if your legs are weak, then you gotta start from the scratch and build that channel up. So it might be the conferences, micro events. So we've been doing a lot of micro events, curated
Mm.
events. Um, Very little to do with AI, right? This is in person. That's something. So I think as a you cannot be too obsessed about one thing. End of the day,
Mm.
you gotta look at. I gotta keep building the business, not really. I'm not building the AI
Yeah.
stack. So in that context, you evaluate whether you want to build, buy,
Yeah.
partner, right?
Yeah.
But that's the
That's
thing, right?
awesome. I think we need to
Yeah,
have you come back and elaborate on
yeah,
that whole decisioning framework and how you do that day to day, right? That
yep,
the decision making on, uh, as you said, where are you strong, where are you weak, where are the gaps? I'm sure there's a framework that you have, maybe a mental
yep.
model, maybe a framework, maybe you have some dashboards and analytics that you look at to kind of figure that out on a day to
Yeah,
day basis. But
constantly keep doing that. Every year there are a lot of there are Reddit communities, a lot of communities where all of this is discussed. So you monitor that and understand where your capabilities are and where the opportunities are and act on them.
got it. So great session, Chitu. Thank you. And how can people get in touch with you? And what's a good way for them to learn more from you?
Best way is LinkedIn. I'm a very
Okay.
LinkedIn person. I'm very active.
Got it.
It's even after work, I'm active on LinkedIn, and I'll respond on
Okay.
my mobile. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Hey, so folks, that concludes episode 60 of AI GTM Talks. Thanks for joining today, and have a great rest of the week. And thanks, Chintu. Bye for now.
Thanks, Money. Yeah. And I think the message is clear. Just start doing it. Partner, even if you want to build, buy off the shelf. That's where we kind of started to buying
Right, right.
using some off the shelf things, right, before you build. So,
Okay.
but start doing it. That's how you learn. There's no option.
Let's all do it. Let's